Hey guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Girl Ruth back again. Should have said part two on it. Yeah, first off, before I get started, my prayers go out to anybody that's just had a storm or anything going on with y'all, personal, not personal, whatever it may be. Just seen they had a storm in Goshen Township. I pray that y'all doing okay. And it was interesting to me that Goshen was Moses and Canaan and Egypt. That was very, very interesting. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so the subject: how does a person, country, say that they want to take over a moon? I'm confused. Now you know what? That might not be totally 100% not accurate. I mean, can't be done because China did make a sun. So what do they know that we don't know? You know what I'm saying? That we have forgotten. So we really need to tap into our ancestors. I know on my grandpa's side, my mom's dad, he looked like a little Chinese man. They were black, had darker skin as well, and they started breeding. I don't know whether through European coming or whatever the deal was for survival's sake, whatever the deal might be, have been. They were lighter skinned, so he was kind of a little bit browner than myself. But you can still see the Asian blood in him and the European blood. But he was short, just like if you look at history, how they say they were. It's a lot of things that they say why people did it, and they cared about skin color. They were really up on not marrying someone who was darker skinned than them. Most of them were really bright. His sister, my auntie, which I love her so much, she she was darker skinned. My uncle was darker skinned, and they were concerned about marrying darker skinned women. Uh, what mulattoes you want to call them? Maybe in Louisiana, I'm not sure. I think that's the name for them. But yeah, anyway, I had just seen this, so I say maybe we can explore this together. I put down some notes. I'm gonna read some of it. What I want to look for. It says China's taking over the moon. How long they have been trying this? Is this the beings on the moon fighting them through the storms? And they had a lot of things going on in China for storms. Is this a war? Hold on, let's see. Who sees or what's on the moon? Fourth house moon. When will they try to take it over? How will the planets be set on moon to see if or when they are going to do this? Portal, I saw. Okay, I want to put a note on here as I was reading this before I forget. Um, Damn, can't think of what it was. I hate when I get a thought. I should have been wrote that down. But anyway, so yeah, I seen a portal. Me and my daughter one day taking her to school, open up in the sky. I mentioned this in some of my videos, and they were bringing something up in that portal, and it had two dark figures. I want to say the watch. I don't know, but they were standing at the top. It's like it's like this, and then they were bringing something. Two men was bringing something up the stairs, and it was another one. Like I don't know if they were men or not. I don't know what they was. It was behind the clouds, but you could see the form. Okay, they were packing something, and they were bringing it up like the stairs because they were like walking up the stairs. And then as they got closer up, and I started praying. I didn't know back then. I rebuked it, blah blah, and it started closing, slowly closing, closing as they got it, whatever it was in. So something is going on that we don't know about. Okay, how does this affect us? That's the main thing too. How does this affect us? Is this going to bring why the summer solstice? Is this what they're going to try it now, or the winter solstice? I did readings on that. For it's a lot of crazy stuff is going to be done during the summer solstice and how to protect yourself too. Okay. Um, why are they doing it? Will it benefit all of us? They did make their own sun. How does someone do this? How does somebody think about making a sun? Was this done back in history? What ancient knowledge do they know? Has this happened in history? Um, I talked about my grandpa. I said, let's I put on that. What kind of power do they have? What gods or goddesses, angels, beings, demons? Who are they working with to tell them this knowledge? If they ever did this before, to help them, how we get this knowledge? What do they know that will happen in the future? They have cities. There's nobody staying there. They built in China, 100-year business plans. Them and the Japanese. And my research, the Asian were from Lot and his two daughters. When they, however they went, they got pregnant for their dad, and that's what my research when I was reading the Bible over and over, and they showed me, and I did some research on that. So they came from Lot. Okay, so then the daughters branched off and started their own kingdom, their children, right? To look at this in the Bible. Okay, so and then Russians are descendants of the Asians. You go back in history and look at that. So they're in war right now. Are they working together? Tornadoes, floods. Did they notice? I'm pretty sure they did. In China, did they make this happen? And I was thinking about all of the things that they going. Wait a minute, I keep getting ahead of myself. What makes a person want to take over a moon planet? Make a sun? Are they exposing something in China? Is this a war between them and the beings? Now that I was looking at NASA. NASA was exposing them and they were denying it. Okay, it says our tornadoes. Okay, or another one, they got a tornado supposed to be in Alberta, Canada. It's supposed to be, they've been looking at on the news. So my grandmother's name was Alberta. And my niece, now my grandma was an Aries. My niece is Aquarius. She's still here, thank the creators. My grandma, she was feisty too, baby. Um, so they say get your mattresses, sleeping bags, get down to a basement if you have to, Canada, stuff like that. What else I have? Okay, I was talking about the Goshen and Egypt. Get to that. It says in Ohio where this happened at the storm, okay, that they had in Goshen. I was talking about earlier and praying for them, praying for everybody, all of us. Did man send storm to China? Okay, so is this a war by them trying to take over the moon or the beings off the moon? Because we've been taught that it's Lilith. There's man on the moon, beings on the moon. We're finding more and more about that. So is that woman on the moon they're trying to take over? Because woman moon is supposed to be Cancer, being a feminine energy. So what does that mean? Is taking over the moon mean, or is a metaphor for taking over the feminine energy? You know, I'm not. I don't know. If they did, will China send a storm back? So whoever sending these tsunamis and storms to China, will China retaliate? Okay, so this is the first thing I found. Let's go with the first thing I found. Okay. Um, it says China rejects NASA's accusations it will take over the moon. That was 2 days ago. China slams NASA claim it may take over the moon. That was 2 days ago. China swipes at NASA after moon takeover smear campaign 1 day ago. China slams NASA chief Nelson as race to the moon gets heated. What you mean race to the moon? That was a day ago. China wants to take over the moon. NASA chief's big warning. Beijing responds. So Beijing just had a storm. Okay. Pray to bless y'all. NASA accuses China of intent to take over the moon. China rejects. That was 3 days ago. China insists it won't take over the moon after NASA's comments. Okay. China takes aim at NASA chief's moon military takeover claims. See what I'm saying? What's going on? um, has any Chinese been to the moon? Change 3 launched on December 2013 aboard a Long March 3B rocket, landed on the moon on 14 December 2013. It carried with it a 140 kilograms, 310 pounds lunar rover named Yutu, YUTU. So it went on December the 22nd and the 4th of 2013. And a rocket called 3B change slash E3. 140 kilometer, 3-pound lunar rover named U2, which was designed to explore an area of 3 square kilometers during a 3-month mission. So, what did they see when they went on the moon? I'm not sure, like Mars meant war. I'm not sure if this actual going to the moon or it's actual taking over feminine energy. Or what did they find that they feel like it was going to be easy, but it's not, to take over the moon? Have they did this in history? Is China sending to the moon? China's most recent mission to the moon was the Change 5. Okay, now we've got the Change 5, which last year returned to Earth with lunar samples. Okay. A lunar rover that landed on the far side of the moon in 2019 is still exploring the surface. Mhm. So they went in 2019. Okay. Is China mining the moon? China became the first country to send a probe to the far side of the moon. So they went on the far side. So that's supposed to be Lilith, right? And last year it became only the second nation after the US landed a rover on Mars. So US on Mars, they on the moon. They went to the Mars. They didn't go to the moon. I mean, they went to the moon, they didn't go to Mars. Let's see. I'm gonna read the article. China astronaut ZHAI exit the 13th spaceship on April 16 after spending 6 months in orbit. China and US are racing to make billions from mining the moon's minerals. The world's top superpowers aren't cooperating on rules of the road for extracting resources in outer space. Updated on May 17, 2022 at 10:42 p.m. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it, U.S. President Joe Biden said after Russia's war in Ukraine unpinned global geopolitics. Far from Earth, that transitions is already heading. Just like in the era of Sputnik, I'm not disrespecting your name, the president of Russia, and Apollo more than half a century ago. Mm. um, Okay, so we look for that in Apollo. Okay. Uh, World leaders are again racing to achieve the dominancy in outer space, but there's one big difference. Whereas the US and the Soviet Union hashed out a common set of rules at the United Nations, this time around the world's top superpower can't even agree on basic principles to govern the next generation of space activities. The lack of cooperation between the US and China on space exploration is particularly dangerous in an era where the cosmos are becoming more crowded. Billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, along with emerging markets such as Rwanda and Philippines, are launching more and more satellites to bridge the digital divide and explore commercial opportunities. So now we got Rwanda and the Philippines. Elon Musk and Jeff. Okay. The stakes are even higher when it comes to the US and China, which are erecting economic barriers in the name of a national security as ideological divisions widen over the pandemic, political repression, and now Putin's, or I said his name. Okay, I thought I was messing up his name. Okay. War. Their inability to cooperate on space risks not only an arms race, but also clashes over extracting potentially hundreds of billions of dollars worth of resources on the moon and elsewhere. Xi Jinping visits an exhibition on China's lunar achievements at the Great Hall of People in 2021. Our concern in the West is more about who sets the rules of the road, particularly access to resources. A former official with Australian Defence Department, who now researches space policy at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute in Canberra. So they're telling us that the archons stop people from leaving out the earth. So the biggest risk is you have two opposite set of rules, he said. You could have a Chinese company on the moon in the 2030s claiming territory with the resources on it in the same way the Chinese have claimed the entire South China Sea. Global politics of space, once a frontier that brought rivals together for the good of humankind, are now mirroring the competition on Earth, putting the US and its allies against China and Russia. And just as Beijing and Moscow had blamed American military alliances in Europe and Asia for stoking tensions over Ukraine and Taiwan, I just seen something about Taiwan today. China was talking about they didn't like their freedom or something like that. China, state run media has warned the US who wants to set up a space based NATO. Okay, so the US wants to set up something too, of course. After the center of the dispute is the US drafted Artemis Accords. Put that down. ARTEMISACCORD. A non legally binding set of principles to govern activity on the moon, Mars, and beyond. The initiative, which NASA says is grounded in the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, 1967 Outer Space Treaty, forms the foundation of the space agency's effort to put astronauts on the moon this decade and kickstart mining operations of lucrative lunar elements. The NASA Space Launch System rocket at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida is scheduled to resume U.S. lunar exploration with the Artemis program. So far, 19 countries have agreed to support the accords, including four: Romania, Colombia, Bahrain, and Singapore. So supporting Romania, Colombia, Bahrain, Bahrain, something, and Singapore. Okay, that signed up after Putin's invasion spurred a U.S.-led effort to isolate Russia. Mm, mm. Was that a good move? Okay. Hmm. Unscoring the divided, Ukraine was an early Artemis Club member after the president of them government signed in late 2020. So Ukraine is on board. Okay. The Accords are part of an effort by Biden administration to establish a border and comprehensive set of norms for space. So Biden wants to put a border on space. Wow. Okay. Vice President Kamala Harris said in April 18 speech at Vandenberg Space Force Base, about 160 miles, 250 kilometers northwest of Los Angeles. Okay. As we move forward, we will remain focused on writing new rules of the road to ensure all space activities are conducted in a responsible, peaceful, and sustainable manner, she said. The United States is committed to lead the way and lead by example. United States, oh, yeah, I always want to be somewhere and think everybody's supposed to fall into place. Love y'all. It is my country. Y'all be doing too much. China and Russia have led opposition to the accords. There you go. China, that's they kinfolk. Y'all banned Russia out, so he went back to his kinfolks. Okay. Vowing greater space cooperation in early February as part of a no limits partnership when Putin visited President Xi in Beijing shortly before the war began. So, President Russia visited China before war, and they say no limits. How can you stop somebody from? That must be them archons, which I think they are joint. So, what does China have? Power China have them in Russia to go against? So they tell us the archons that they can go up there. Okay. They are jointly promoting an alternative project on the moon they say is open to all other countries. The International Lunar Research Station. Hmm. Source of satellites. Most spacecraft in orbit are from the US, but China's closing the gap. So we have US have 2,944. China has 499. Russia has 169, and other countries has 1,240. Data Union of Concerned Scientists note includes launches through December 2021. One of China's main problems with the Artemis Accords is a division allowing nations to designate areas of the moon as safety zones. Okay, we have a problem with that. Okay. Regions on the lunar surface that others should avoid. For the Americans and their Artemis partners, the exclusion areas are a way to comply with obligations under the Outer Space Treaty, which requires countries to avoid harmful interference in space. Hmm, okay. Parentheses around it. To China, however, the safety zones are thinly discussed land grabs in violation of international law. Beijing wants any rulemaking to be settled in the UN, where it can count on support from the wider group of countries eager for friendly ties with the world's second largest economy. It's time the US woke up and smelled the coffee, China Daily proclaimed in the January editorial that's characterized how NASA invented the concept of safety zones to all governments or companies to reserve areas of the moon. The world is no longer interested in its divis, divisive, okay, uh, the, decisive hegemonic shams. China has good reason to be suspicious of U.S. efforts in space. America legislation first passed in 2011 prevents NASA from the most interactions with its China counterpart, and the U.S. has blocked China from taking part in the International Space Station. Hmm. A move that simply promoted Beijing to build its own, a model of Tiangong Space Station. See y'all. So y'all know this is finna be the little dummies getting caught up in all this bullshit that they doing, not telling us what's going on. China was left out of that order, and now it's going its own way. And who has studied the Chinese space program? That raises the challenge as to whether you can have a coherent system of rules in outer space when you have two different visions of order. There isn't any cooperation. The head of Russian space program, Cosmos director, in late April suggested that Russia had decided to quit the International Space Station because of Western sanctions in Russia from its invasion of Ukraine. So, that's why America gave Russia all that money and Ukraine. They playing both sides. So Russia could not get in that space thing with China. Hmm. Okay. While Russia's space program was already in decline before Putin's war, China is swiftly moving toward XI's goal of marching U.S. capa- capabilities in space. China became the first country to send a probe to the far side of the moon in 2019, and last year it became only the second nation after the U.S. to land a rover on Mars. So they're going to Mars too. On March 10th, China launched a Long March rocket from the southern island province of Hainan to deliver cargo to, okay, so the island, Hainan, China, launch um, rocket cargo to Tiangong. The complete to complement the orbiting spacecraft that Beijing plans to complete this year, making China the only country to operate its own space station. The following month, XI ordered officials to build a world-leading spacecraft launch set in that country. Oh, look at that country, y'all. I mean that island. To explore the vast cosmos, develop the space industry, and build China into a space power is our eternal dream, XI said in the introduction to a paper on China's space program released in January, which said China plans to launch a robotic lunar mission around 2025. China may be able to send astronauts to the moon for the first time by 2030, says a chief designer of China's first lunar probe told state media at the time. The Long March 5 Y-5 rocket at the Wenchang spacecraft launch site in South China's Hainan province. China wants really badly to be seen as the NASA of the future. It wants to be that leader. China feels that it's China's time. Hmm. As the US, China, and other nations target the moon, the need to establish rules to avoid conflict is becoming more urgent. NASA in April conducted tests for the launch of Artemis 1, the first American spacecraft to aim for the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. When this mission will be fully robotic, NASA's goal is to send astronauts to the moon around 2025, including the first woman, and build a base camp on the lunar space. Base camp, that's my fault. Lunar surface, my fault. I said that wrong. Elon Musk Space Expedition Technologies Corporation will conduct a test flight from Texas in the next few months of the company's new Starship rocket, which SpaceX plans to use to take humans to the moon and Mars. Texas, we in trouble. Japan and South Korea, both Artemis Accords signatories, have lunar missions in the works. So does India, the largest spacefaring nation, yet to commit to either the American or the Sino-Russia teams. Putin also vowed last month to restore the moon program. Bam. So we got Japan initiate, South Korea, um, India. Damn. Speaking at the congregational hearing this week, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson warned of growing tensions in space between the U.S. and China. They now have a space station and it's got impressive technology. They have declared that they are going to the moon, and I think we are, not unlike the space race we were in with the Soviet Union. I think we're going to have that space race with the Chinese government in the future. Unlike Earth, the moon may contain large amounts of helium 3. I looked that up before. An isotope potentially useful as an alternative to uranium from nuclear power plants because it's not radioactive. I looked this up before. Chinese state media in 2019 said the moon is sometimes referred to as the Persian Gulf of the solar system. Because what Persian Gulf is what like the oil and the gas. I guess if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. Okay. Um, with experts believing 500 tons of coal could be replaced by about 3 teaspoons of helium. Okay, so 5,000 tons of coal could be replaced with 3 tablespoons of helium 3. While there's not yet proof that helium 3 can do what booters claim, Chinese researchers are already looking for the element in the moon rocks brought back to Earth in late 2020 by one of China's lunar missions. The moon could also prove valuable as a source of water. Okay. Taken from ice at the lunar poles to make rocket fuel. That could power missions to Mars and other places in the solar system. Why can't they never agree? Why does their ego always come into play? Why can't they agree to this? You know, and I always have this power struggle. I want to be first. I want like some little bitty boys still sucking their damn thumb or their mama titty. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why y'all can't agree on something? Why is all we got? I gotta be first. I gotta be first. I gotta be. We all can enjoy this. For now, the U.S. appears to be ahead of winning over nations to its interpretation of the rules for operating in space. As the Artemis Accords gain new signatories, China is still waiting for another leader besides Putin to team up on the International Lunar Research Station. So Russia had to bow out. Slick America. Y'all be doing the politics, man. Y'all be thinking ahead like a mug. China state media reported in March that negotiations were underway with the European Space Agency, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia about taking part in a vital moon base. So China might be linked in with. Okay, so we got European with China. So they negotiating, right, with Europe, Thailand, U, United Arab, and Saudi Arabia. Okay. But Russia's war in Ukraine will likely make the project much less appealing to some nations. The European Space Agency on March 17th suspended a plan to send a Russian made lander to Mars in September October, following UK based satellite operator OneWeb Lieutenant's cancellation of plans to launch its low Earth orbit satellite of broad Russian rockets. The impact on Russian space program is going to be disastrous, said the Center Astrophysics, which is operated by Harvard University and Smithsonian Institution. Although China doesn't need Russia's expertise, XI's long-term strategy calculus means Beijing is unlikely abandon Moscow in an effort to win more political partners. Putin's top space official has already called together cooperation with China. Hmm. So is he coming back? We work well with our Chinese friends, Roscosmos director said in an interview with Chinese on April 4th. To be friends in space, we must be friends on Earth. So Putin double thinking this shit. The same appears to hold true for adver- adversaries. So what does it mean? America gave them some money for them to stay out of the space thing with China. They changing their mind to go with China. Y'all see where it's going? The same appears to hold true for adversaries in a sign of what could go wrong without a common set of rules in space. The US and China trade accusations in recent months over two indecent last year involving satellite launches by Elon Musk SpaceX that Beijing said came dangerously close to its orbiting space station. Okay, Elon, try cancel. All right, cancel. Okay. Wow, y'all can see how this looks. This look like it's the sun setting, but it's actually a space station. It's something. Let me see, can y'all see a little bit? Have we seen it somewhere in the sky? That's actually Elon Musk's space station. Hmm. After China lodged a complaint with the UN, complaint with the UN, I'm sorry, the US said a notification wasn't necessary, implying Beijing extravagant is taking the risk that China even more with foreign ministry spokesman ZHAO saying the U.S. doesn't reply to emails to discuss the incident and wasn't showing the due responsibility attitude as a space power. Little boys. Oh, the episode points to China's bigger problem with the Eros Accords. Beijing is upset about being left out of the process and pressured to accept principles that were crafted by the U.S. instead of at the UN, according to Jessica West, senior researcher manager, okay, blah, blah, blah. The Space Research Institute of the Canadian Council of Churches. Okay, so Canada just had a storm. So are they playing with these storm weather storms threatening each other? And we all in the middle of this shit. Taking advantage of the way the planets are aligned for disaster to make it worse than it probably was going to be. The conflict over who makes the rules, she added, shows the world has lots of work left to avoid a clash in space. That's what the Venus was afraid of when they came down here to stop this. Somebody ego gonna fuck up, a couple of them ego gonna fuck up the whole shit, and we all looking stupid. They already had two Earths. They say that they messed up. I'm not sure people expect the explosion of space activity that happened. West said, "We're just not accurately prepared." Lord have mercy. These folks here. Ooh, if I can go somewhere else. Oh, thank you. Hey, it's like they do too much. I'm so sick of these people. We can't even enjoy going and flying to different things in space because everybody is want to be the first and they want to be the ones to dictate and still run everybody else and charge you all that money. So now these storms and stuff going back and forth, they doing because they want to be in control. This is so crazy. Okay, let's see. I want to go back. I want to go and see in ancient times who were. Well, I need to find out what was Lot's daughter's. I can find that right here. Let me see. Who was Lot's daughter's children? Russia. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, there is part. Let me see. Lot. Older daughter gives birth to Moab. Okay. So we got Lot and his daughters. I know that through plenty of research that they were the Asian community. Okay, so we got Moab, which was from Ruth, my name from. She married Boaz, right? While the younger daughter gives birth to Ammon, the Ammonites. I'm not sure who they are today. According to Jewish traditions, Lot's daughters believed that the entire world had been destroyed and that they were only the survivors. Okay, so let's see. Who is Moab today? Who are the Moabs today? Babylonians. Women, no. Oh no, that ain't correct, sister. Moab, a son of Lot, who was a nephew of the Israelite patron of Abraham. Moabs belonged to the same ethnic stock as the Israelites. They ancestry found was Moab, a son of Lot, who was a nephew of the Israelites, patron of Abraham. The God protector of their nation was Shemosh, just as Yahweh was the nation of God of Israelites. Hmm. Let's see. So Abraham and then the Babylonians. So they saying Moab is in Jordan. The Lebantin kingdom by the Dead Sea. That's Russia. Okay. So those are Moabs. Okay. Okay, so Ruth married Boaz. Boaz was an Israelite. Naomi. Okay, yeah. Wait a minute. She married in Naomi. Okay, Naomi was an Israelite, right? Okay. Look at Ruth. I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I want to see something. Has this been done before? And why they, I don't know, 225. I mean, 250. I'm tripping. Yeah, 252. Tripping. 252. The book of Ruth. And it came to pass in the days of when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of the Bethlehem, Judea, went to dwell in the country of Moab, and he and his wife and his two sons. The name of the man was Elamich. The name of his wife was Naomi, and the names of his two sons were whatever. If Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judea, and they went to the country of Moab and remained there. Then Elamich, Noah's husband, died. I used to pronounce that name. And she was left, and her two sons. Now they took wives of the women of Moab, and the name of the one was Ophram, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. Then both their husbands died, So the women survived, her two sons and her husbands. Then she arose with her daughter in law, that she might return to the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had visited his people by giving them bread. Therefore she went out from the place where she was, and her two daughters in law and her, and they went on the way to return to the land of Judea. So that makes them, okay, we got Bethlehem. Okay, let's see. Judea. Okay, so where was Lot? Lot was from, okay, Solomon Gomorrah. Wives of Benjamites. Samson, Delilah. So they had Lot, because they came help Lot too. So that makes Lot be an Israelite too. I can just ask online. I don't know why I'm tripping. What was the nation? What was the nationality of Job? Ah, I'm tripping now. What was the? You know my nerve. Stop. Stop. Crazy ass phone. Uh, what was the, I know I need a new phone. Okay, who's Lot was in Genesis. Oh, I went right to Goshen. Okay, let's see. Joseph. Let's see. Lot was during the time. Um, do they have just Lot? 5, 7. No. I don't think I can find it. What was Lot in the Bible's nationality? What else? Chapter 11, Genesis 14. And the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And then they said to one another, come and let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had this got to do with the Tower of Babel. Okay, let's see. Why y'all put me Job and not Lot? Lot's father was Haran. H. Okay. Okay, Lot's father was Haran, Haran, uh, or Araran. Book of Genesis, Hebrew Bible. So he's a Hebrew. He died in Ur of the Chaldees, was son of Tetrah, a brother of Abraham, son of Terah, brother of Abraham. So he was Israelite, Hebrew, right? Son of Lot. Though his son Lot, Haran was the ancestor of the Moabites and Ammonites, right? Okay, still, okay. Has anyone took over the moon in history? Humans first landed on the moon. First human to walk on the moon surface was Neil Armstrong, commander of U.S. mission. Uh, in ancient history. In ancient is history, who took over the moon? An ancient Greek philosopher was exiled from claiming the moon was a rock, not a god. Rock moon reflects the light from the sun, allowing him to explain lunar phases and eclipses. What is y'all doing? Close to the north pole of the moon lies the crater and named after the man Anaxagoras, named from the Greek philosopher who lived in the 5th century BC. The man was one of the first people in history to suggest the moon was a rock body, not all too dissimilar from Earth. Strikes of material thrown out during the impact that formed the crater extend 560 miles southward to the rim of another crater, this one named for Pluto. Like Pluto, he, the scholar, did most of his work in Athens, but the similarities between the two men stopped there. What's the name of that space shuttle thing? What's the name of that? Animus. Okay. Influenced strongly by him, Pluto po- posted a mystical universe based on sacred geometry forms, including perfectly circular orbits. Pluto observation and experimentation refers to pursuing a pure knowledge he believed was innate in all humans. He died around the time Pluto was born. Blah blah blah. He extended upon the idea that likely emerging these while the moon and sun were not God's good objects. Nazareth. Um, what else I want to ask? Because I ain't getting no answers from this. I wanted to ask, what is on the moon? Ain't gonna tell me that. Let me try duck, duck, go. Duck, duck, go. Something they ain't gonna tell me. I don't know why I'm looking. I put Black Lilith Moon. Is Black Lilith Moon, Black Lilith women on the moon? Black Moon Lilith and women. Did I do that? Urkel. Black Moon Lilith represents wild women energy. It can be anything, anything ranging from fun, freaky flag territory to full on experiencing the feminine as demonic. How you relate to this energy can vary widely along these lines, both by how it is aspected in your chart and what it kicks up by transit. For instance, women with Lilith aspect in Neptune may have dark or wild energy that operates in a stealthy or hidden manner under the radar of others, or it may be that they are not conscious of their inner wild woman. They may also be mistaken for inhabiting this energy when they do not. By transit, you get the same effect, but only the length of the transit. Whatever. It's not what I'm talking about. Black Lilith and Mars synastries. When Mars and Lilith are on the aspect in the synastries chart, the effect is powerful. Whether the aspect is a trine, opposition, or anything in between, the chemistry will smother, the intensity will burn. So if you see Mars and Lilith in aspect and symmetry, what do you need to know? I'm not talking about sex. They can achieve anything. When Lilith and Mars team up in synastry, there's nothing they can't do. So that's why they hit Mars and Lilith moon. They're, they have a very strong sense of us against the world, and they will fight to protect the boundaries of their relationship at all costs. They may cause each other significant pain and strife, but God help any outsiders who dares to point it out. So I'm getting from this that okay, if they get this and the Mars, that means like they say they can go on to other things in space because it's very powerful to have control of the moon and have control over space. Okay, the darker side. Okay, okay, let's see. So they have the feminine. Oh, okay, feminine and the masculine. Wow, okay. So they got the feminine and the masculine, right? Cancer is feminine, Mars is masculine. Black Moon Lily astrology, understanding how it influences your place on this earth. Black Moon Lily astrology may sound so ominous to someone not familiar with it, and sometimes it can be. But setting that fear aside, this astrological phenomenon is potent and when harnessed right, can be used for good. Of course, with such powerful consequences, it is only um, something just came in my head. Come on. Um, Galactic Federation. Okay. Of course, with such power consequences, it is only fitting that a person seeking this cosmic point's wisdom has to understand Lilith's background. Only with clarity can someone truly make use of this divine gift and unlock their true potential. Are you ready to meet Lilith? Then come, let us seek her wisdom. Who is Lilith? To those well versed in religious texts, particularly in the Jewish tradition, Lilith was Adam's first wife. God created her to be equal with Adam. Still, when the time came for them to come together as husband and wife, Lilith refused to lie down underneath her spouse, insisted that she is equal with him, and does not have an inferior position. This act angered both God and Adam, who had Lilith banished from the Garden of Eden and replaced by Eve. Lilith's later whereabouts were unknown, but it was generally agreed that she eventually became one of the higher ranking demons of hell and exercised power over her domain. In the world of astrology, though, Lilith is no longer a vengeful woman who wanted to reclaim her rightful place as the mother of humankind. Instead, she has become the divine feminine who governs over the realms of sex, spirituality, and desire. So, what is Black Moon Lilith astrology? In a nutshell, Black Moon Lilith astrology refers to a certain point in the heavens and not an actual celestial body. It is a point in the sky that is farthest from the moon, as known as lunar apology. I went on that word before. What did I say about that word before? I was reading about that word the other day. Lunar, Apogee, relative to the latter's position while orbiting the Earth. The latter's position. Like the planets, the Lilith resides in a specific region governed by a zodiac sign. However, since her point can be quite far from Earth, she sits at the said zodiac for up to 9 months. So that would be Ophiuchus, Sagittarius between Scorpio and Sag is Ophiuchus and Lilith. Okay, so we got Ophiuchus coming in, which is Lilith. It's between Scorpio and Sag. That's the night. It's really the night planet. While staying in the side area, Lilith has the ability to enhance the negative traits of that certain zodiac. Thus, when someone is born, they receive heaven's blessings and the darker side of things, especially personal insecurities. What are these things that the Black Moon Lilith astrology gives? The traits a person receives from Lilith may differ from the zodiac in which she was in. For example, you may be born with the sun in Taurus, but your Lilith may be Capricorn. Regardless, Lilith's influence is so strong that it often holds many people back from actual realizing their potential. This is why understanding her power is the key to understanding one's weaknesses rather further and use them for the better. Here is a rundown of what the Black Moon Lilith astrology says related to your zodiac. Black Moon Lilith in Aries. Those whose Lilith is in Aries tend to be assertive and full of spark. They know what they want and they will get what they want. Unfortunately, this doesn't exactly go in this favor all the time. These individuals also feel a deep sense of remorse or shame when they feel like they have gone overboard. These people are also prone to giving in their senses of shame when people call them out for their being strong willed. It may end up with them slowly losing their interest in honoring their leadership potential and prevent them from reaching their true potential. To me, that's why it's so important. They would made a comment when I did that with my grandkids in the tree. People made a comment because she told me to shut up and did that. I know her, okay. Um, I didn't get upset because I was teasing, and she's an Aries with a Pisces right with a Taurus rising. So she's very and a Pisces moon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. and I was there to teach, okay, and I didn't take offense of that, which I didn't hear her tell me to shut up, but I didn't take offense of that because I know her. Yeah, she has an Aries sun, a Taurus ascendant, okay, a Sag moon, Pisces Venus, okay, Mercury and Aries. So her mouth. See, I know that about her and other things going on. So I wasn't going to, I'm not going to get upset about that. Me and her talked about that, and of course she apologized, but we laughed about it. And she was scared to get up in the tree. And I was just trying to show them another way besides on the computers, you know what I'm saying? Because when they come around me, I want them to play like I did. Mud cake, water, get dirty, the whole 9 yards. And she's a girly girl, but she like inventing like her grandma. She like inventing things, putting things together. So I don't want to take that spark like they were just mentioning here. And always trying to shun her because she's a leader. That's Aries. So she's a leader. So I gotta know how to keep her leading and not shun her from the things that she may say that she don't really know what she's saying, and a lot of things she do know what she's saying, but she's still in a growing stage of learning and knowing her power. So, back in the day now, working hard, this and that, I was much meaner with my kids. Now that I understand with my grandkids, since I don't have to do all of that working by myself, raising them, I can sit back and listen and understand when they say something out of hand, and then realizing who their dad and their moms are and the bloodline. Because mom is an Aries as well, and dad is a Capricorn. So they're not going to be normal. And they have a lot of power. That's cardinal signs. They got a lot of power. Okay. Then the sun is a Virgo. That's on top of added, you know. So I take time. I don't always shun them for everything they might say. I catch them and this or that. Yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, hold up. But I try to teach as I go. Okay. Didn't have to explain that, but I wanted to. Now we got Black Moon, Lilith, and Cancer. Those whose Lilith is in Cancer tend to be compassionate and nurturing. Their nature is to care for others as well as to receive much in return. However, they also feel shame during times when they find themselves in need to help. These people feel like they do not deserve other support and may end up lost and confused. These individuals can get uncomfortable over the notion of giving help and asking for help in return. They may even feel awkward or aggressive when this sensitive side of themselves gets touched on by people they perceive as dangerous or unfair. They may even feel awkward or aggressive when this sensitive side of themselves gets touched on by people they perceive as dangerous or unfamiliar. So your sensual is up. So something they know during this time or this time of we going through this year, next year, 2020, starting in 2020, the 20s, that something is open where they can accomplish this goal of taking over this moon and taking over, you know what I'm saying? Of going to accomplish this goal to go into space and to go on like Star Trek where no man has ever been before. So by having the Mars and the moon aligned, are they aligned? When will moon are they and Mars be aligned together? Okay. Let's see if I want to read anything more on that. The dark star. Okay, let's see. Um when will the moon and Mars be aligned Okay, IGN together. Planets is aligned in the sky in June 2022. The wonders align. Let's see. Moon and Mars will align this weekend. Okay, so they did that in 2020. Will align this weekend. Here as to how to watch them rise together. Okay, that was in 2022. I mean 2020. Okay. Has been a bright and happy year for astronomers worldwide. Astronomy enthusiasts were charmed by the super bright Jupiter this summer, which was just 8 degrees away, ranged. So that's what I told you. That's when everything started in 2022. I mean 2020. So we already had the moon and Mars align and range planet Saturn. Comet Neowise dazzled the night sky on Earth for over 20 days. I seen that. Let me see what that means. Neowise on Earth over 20 days. Now it's the turn of Moon and Mars to fascinate sky watchers. According to a report by Forbes, the waning moon will soon pass close to the red planet. Okay. This will lead to Moon and Mars being aligned for a brief period. Okay, so that happened in 2020. Okay, so that already happened. See Mars shine very close to the crescent moon in pre-dawn sky Saturday. So that happened in January. Okay. Okay, this is February. So they've been studying this, so they exactly know the power. Catch Venus, Mars, and Moon close together in the night sky. Star watchers are in for this is July 12th, 2021. Okay. What you eating? I'm starving. I ain't eat nothing. That honey bun he gave me, these little sneaky stuff. Okay. Rare alignment of Mars, Venus, and the Moon occurs this weekend. That was February 21st. Mhm. March, April, July. I don't know why I'm looking for it because they're not going to give it to me. know why I'm tripping. It's not going to show me that. What are the questions I got? Okay. So they plan on going up. Oh, I know. Galactic Federation. Where was the Galactic Federation in the sky? Former Israel space chief says aliens exist. Blah, blah, blah. Waiting for humans to reach a stage where they will understand. Okay, let's see. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. Black Federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. I don't remember. Oh, I was wiping the cabinets out. Oh, no, you can let that out. I did that part right there with some oranges. A former Israel space security chief has sent eyebrows shouting heavenward by saying that Earthlings have been in contact with extraterrestrials from a galactic federation. The unidentified flying object has to publish, asked not to publish that they are here. Humanitarian is not ready yet. Former, when is this made? She when they think we're gonna be ready? December 2020. Uh, told Israel's Udeta Yediot newspaper interview at Hebrew ran on Friday and gained traction after parts were published in English by the Jerusalem Post. A respected professor and retired general, aliens were equally curious about humans and were seeking to understand the fabric of the universe. Cooperation agreements had been signed between species, including an underground base in the depths of Mars. Boom, there it is. Galactic Federation underground damn, where I went? Underground base in Mars, where there are American astronauts and alien representatives. Okay, I can see that. There is an agreement between the U.S. government and the aliens. They signed a contract with us to do experiments here. President Trump was aware of the extraterrestrials' existence and had been on the verge of revealing. And Gemini, that's what they do. Information, but was asked not to in order to prevent mass hysteria. They have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. The White House and Israel officials did not immediately respond to the news request for comment. A spokesman from the Pentagon declined to comment. A spokesman from NASA said one of the agency's key goals was to search for life in the universe, but that it had yet to find signs of extraterrestrial whatever. Although we have yet to find signs, blah blah blah, beyond to help us answer fundamental questions, including whether we're alone in the universe, blah blah blah. Spread out in multi-layered universe beyond the horizon, controversies, blah blah blah. Who oversee the launch of numerous Israelite satellites into space. He was only speaking out now between attitudes were changing and people seem more receptive. If I had come up with what I'm saying today 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. Today they're already talking differently. I have nothing to lose. I received my degrees and awards. I am respected in universities abroad. Space is going to be the future, both in terms of defense and offense. So now y'all gonna be fighting from space because your ass can't get along here. So what you gonna be doing? Just like the Star Wars and probably back in the day that they ain't documented and doing it now, fighting over territory instead of enjoying this beautiful everything. Still selfish and mean. Because you ain't changed here. So I don't know what the hell you doing going somewhere else. Space is going to be the future, but in terms of defense and offense, we're now the leader on space, as he was presented with the official flag of the newly created military branch, Space Force. Its focus, along with Space Command, is a space as a military domain for the U.S., preserving satellite and communications and a force on geopolitics and new terrain. Comments immediately spawned jokes and theories online. At least half a dozen accounts have been created on Twitter representing Earth from the Galactic Federation. Other users have asked for preferential treatment in meetings with the otherworldly groups. Nick Pope, who used investigation UFOs for British minister. Okay, whatever. We already know. We already know it's something else. We already know we're dealing with. I put the Galactic Federation already on my page. So, what's the purpose? Are y'all gonna help? I mean, when y'all think we're gonna be ready? But y'all see, the thing is, they still want control. They still want control of everything like they always did and us. So they want to shun us from knowing a lot of stuff. Like we stupid and dumb, taking people's memory, you know. So you won't be able to do this. Won't let you put stuff. Selfish little twats, little boys. Selfish little boys. Haven't grown up. Still sucking mama titty. Still playing with the G.I. Joe little boys or the little army boys. So that's the deal. So how they gonna? They're not gonna show it. I'm not gonna find it. Let me see. What all did the Babylonians do? Is that their name? What all did the Babylonians accomplish?
According to Live Science, among their many accomplishments, they developed trigonometry, used mathematical models to track the planet Jupiter, and developed methods of tracking time that are still used today. Ancient Babylonian records are still used by modern-day astronomers to study how the rotation of the Earth has changed.
Okay. Mesopotamian civilization. 10 major achievements of ancient Babylonians. History, reason, blah, blah. It's his, okay. Achievements of ancient Babylonian civilization. Mesopotamia is historically a region sited between the rivers of Tigris and Euphrates. It corresponds to present-day Iraq mostly, but also parts of Iran, Syria, and Turkey. Mesopotamian civilization was one of the earliest in the world history. During the reign of King Hammurabi, Babylon became a key kingdom of Mesopotamia, and South Mesopotamia became known as Babylonia. The Babylonians went on to greatly influence Mesopotamian culture. More importantly, they had a great impact on the history of Western civilization. Among the most important contributions of Babylonia are the first ever positional number system. Accomplishments in advanced mathematics, laying the foundation for all Western astronomy, and impressive works of art, agriculture, and literature. Here are the 10 most important achievements of the ancient Babylonian civilization. Their capital, number one, their capital city was the largest city in the world at the time. Sumer in the south and AKK in the north. Around 2000 BC, nomadic people known as the Amorites began to migrate into the southern Mesopotamia. The Amorites began expanding their influence, taking over many cities, states, established what is known as the Old Babylonian Empire. The sixth Amorite ruler, that man I said at first, took the Old Babylonian Empire in its greatest heights. Cyrus of the Great Persian conquered the Neo-Babylonian Empire, bringing an end to the last independent state. Okay. Second, they developed the first ever positional number system. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20. As the number 6 has many divisors, decimal system, Roman numerals. Okay. Um, Hellenistic mathematicians, Greek Hellenistic, borrowed heavily the Babylonians. They could perform advanced arithmetic calculations and solve quadratic equations. They were the first to use sophisticated geometry and track moving objects. Rectangles, triangles, tripods. Babylonian astronomy laid the base for all Western astronomy. Somebody seen on here. Oh, Goshen. Okay, we'll have to go there. Just curious about Goshen right quick. Then he went to, this is on Genesis chapter 46, verse 28. Then he sent Judea before him to Joseph to point out before him the way to Goshen, and they came to the land of Goshen. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel, and he represented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said to Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will get up and tell Pharaoh, and they too to him, my brothers and those of my father's house who were in the land of Canaan have come to me, and the men are shepherds, for their occupation has been to feed livestock, and they have brought their flocks, their herds, and all that they have. So it shall be when Pharaoh calls you and says, what is your occupation? That you shall say, your servants' occupations has been with livestock from our youth even till now, both we and also our fathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. Every shepherd is abomination to the Egyptians. Why? There's also Moses. Oh no, I done flipped to something else. I'm finna close. I'm not gonna find out what a little information. Now we know a little bit what's going on with these storms, and they'll be playing back and forth if they don't come to no agreement. So that means we're gonna get hit with some of this shit. Moses is in Joshua, so that Moses gotta be before you. Okay. Yeah, definitely Moses. Moses and Goshen. I'm just curious. They just had a storm in Goshen, but Goshen is in a whole lot of America, but it's also in Egypt. Remember, I told y'all that the world was together, the earth was together. This all was Egypt too. This all was Africa, which was not called Africa. It's only named after somebody who say they conquered and found it, right? Um, I don't know why this seemed important to me. Canaan. Okay, was in the land of Canaan, Egypt, Canaan, Moses. Okay. So, that's why they got all these pharaohs they finding over here. I wish they tell the truth for once in their life. Sad. Potion. We need that potion. When was Moses in the land of Goshen? Goshen was a part of Egypt that bordered on the promised land that God had given to Abraham for his descendants, America. Genesis 12:7. Still believe that. I don't care what nobody say. Genesis 12:7. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, to your descendants I will give this land, and there will he build an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord, Ai, and called on the name of the Lord. So Abraham journeyed and going on still toward the south. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down to Egypt to dwell there, for famine was in this land. Okay, so this is okay. So they got Goshen affected by the plagues. 8 affected all the land of Egypt should be interpreted as all of the Nile, the land of Goshen. The other plagues affected parts of neighboring On, but not included the land of Goshen. Killed the animals, the firstborn. A land, a place of plenty and comfort. Goshen. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I got. don't know what this finna say, but let's see. Let's see what comes up. Hmm, that's good. First one I got was treaty. I know I read that before on one of my things. That's Europe, America, treaty they signed, the UN, right? Then we got the moon, water. So the moon is space, water, Queen of Cups. Say there's water up there in heaven, so they say the heavens, water, so water first. So it'd be Queen of Cups. So it's presenting the water we see, feelings, the water up above we see. Gemini, Cancer, Gemini communication between the two, right? Let's see where it's going. So they are discussing both of them. They haven't talked about them going in the water. So they're very new beginnings, birth, new ideas, creation. Okay. And they're fighting over it, right? Read some of that already. So that Sag come into play. Sag moon, right? Fire, Aries, the fire signs, along with Sag, very passionate about taking over the mother, the woman aspect, using feminine energy along with masculine energy. And who gonna get bruised? Our ass. Just said that. Greedy. Y'all seen the cards that they fell out? I didn't pick these cards. Fell out just like this. Greedy. And it's not divinely ordered. Okay? So no security, no helping hand. Reverse. So everybody, just shit in order. Because if they coming from here, we already got them on land. Then they find a way to do underwater. We fuck. We'll do another one of what's under the water. Because yeah, for as we know, the moon and Mars might be through the waters that they going. What is this? Feminine. Don't want her to shine. Don't want her to know who she is. You're gonna taking over the moon. That's the women. You trying to taking over the women here like they're doing now. They just made the treaty. I mean, women gotta can't have an abortion. You can't do a lot of things with your own body. Taking over the woman. That's the moon. That's what they talking about when they say they're doing all of that. It's like Mars. There's war going on for as the shots. Then Russia decided to do this here, but it's more to what he doing in Ukraine. That's brothers against brother. Okay, getting clarity. Okay, at a war, being defensive to each other, fighting like little ass children. Okay, hidden spine. They don't want us to know what the hell going on. But we got clarity. We can pretty much tell if you're paying attention. Cause I just like to flip through YouTube or flip through something, see what's going on. And I ran up on this here. Look at this. That's how we gotta be. Let that shit bounce back off of y'all. Y'all better see what's going on and wear this armor right here. Clarity. See what's happening. She the root. She the truth. Oh. See my name in the middle of it. Ain't that so? They want our defenses down. They don't want to tell us the truth. And you know what? This could also mean like this if you're overeating, overdoing whatever, fast, meditate, you see what's going on. Guard your heart. Stop taking everything to heart. See what's going on because they want to look at this home security. It's twice. They're going to offer you something. Say it's good news. Watch your babies. Want you to have these babies so they can have a whole new everything. Look at this. The billionaires, the trillionaires, it's a business. It's a baby business to start a new world. So these fuckers that learn how to live long and taking whatever out of babies and stuff, and children, putting themselves to keep them living long instead of finding the true things and going the right way. A lot of them have given themselves over. Look at this. Just want to talk about it to beings that require, it require. Look at this coming right behind it. Peace of mind. They don't want you to have it. So they working on this shit. Look at this. You heard him say the fuel for the spacecraft to go even farther. But a lot of these things that they're working with require a lot of stuff, blood, parts, certain type of people, certain type of bloodline, and they working with it. And y'all think it's just on TV. It ain't from the divine. Yeah, not in hermit mode. It's out in the open. Mm, even stars reverse. So I told you it might be in the water. You gotta think they might be saying this, but it's always a metaphor, a code for something else. But it's definitely got to do with women. We do know that. It's Aquarius. And that storm that's over there called Alberta, taken from the land, going into space, going into the water, something about that. Let's see. NASA and the water. I don't know. One way to monitor underground water loss. Climate International Sea Level Satellite takes over from the predecessor, Earth NASA share. Why does NASA look for water? Does NASA observe the ocean? NASA's observing the ocean from space for more than 20 years. NASA launched CSAT, the first civilized oceanographic satellite, on June 28, 1978. The satellite carried 5 complementary sensors designed to monitor the ocean from space. Oceanography. I love oceanography. I hate I didn't get to keep on doing it. What did NASA discover in the ocean? To their amazement, the scientists discovered vibrant ecosystem around the vents, teeming with marine organisms such as translucent snailfish and an amphipod, tiny flea-like crust- crustaceans that had never been seen before. With this discovery, we came across a whole new way of living on Earth. Hmm. Space and ocean connected, inner space and outer space, yining and yanging together. The sea is own cosmos, but it is inextricable linked to the vast invisible ocean around us. The hydrogen in its water molecules was made in the Big Bang. The oxygen in them was made in a star. A married mate literally in heaven. I'm gonna read all that. Is Earth losing water to space? Our planet is also very efficient at keeping this water. Water is a vapor in our atmosphere, could potentially escape into space from Earth. But the water doesn't escape because certain regions of the atmosphere are extremely cold. How did water form the universe? Dust is made from heavy elements, but little dust would have been present in an early universe. Without dust, water forms through neutral reactions, with oxygen and hydrogen first forming hydroxyl OH and then reacting with hydrogen to form water. Okay. All right, let me close this up. So the star was reversed. Star was reversed, meaning the beings don't agree with it. Still not letting us know or what? Juggling. I don't know why this looking like a spacecraft to me. Like something that's two of pentacles. Confusion. Money can make a confusion. It's like it was soaring around somewhere. I don't know. Gotta use your third eye. They don't want you to see. Blinding, soaring, going around. Okay. What is this? Yeah, we already know you involved. All the beans and coats and all of that. Congratulations, we're getting married, but you know this marrying of this together. So is this Hierophant is the father. Taurus. Taurus is Greek. Greeks, the Romans, Italy. Italy finna get involved. The Greeks. Well, they're already involved. The Babylonians and Mesopotamia, Greeks. It says King of Swords. Going slowly with it. It's not finished. Eight of Wands. Reverse. Now they're not gonna put this on the news. Shit. Underground. Yeah, that's about right. Oh, using Mother Nature's veins too, using her power points on the earth. And at the ending of a situation or relationship. And he about to see Gemini, stopping the communication. Swords, deadness in communication. The news media for this to come out, they're gonna deny it to the fullest. Still wanna be in power. Six of Swords, boat or over water travel, turning boat out of troubled waters into calmer waters. Second Deacon Aquarius. We gotta find this for ourselves. Close this up for these folks be trying to get me. No hopes, no plans, no wishes. Still in it. I want you to know their plans. I want you to know their hopes, their wishes, what they're going to do. But it's there. It's a business. It ain't personal. They're just thinking about their future. Rewriting a new book. Starting a new movie. Gossip. Being wise. A lot of gossip about it. So they talking about it at the UN or wherever they talking about it at. The future. Children. Hey, Vander. B, I don't know if you're still there. How you doing? Yeah. Children are the future, not us. Stay anchored. And they want them anchored. They want them loyal. Okay. Ancestors. New tree. Plant new seeds. Keep the faith. I don't know. New God. Worshiping something else. You know why I got that? Everybody want to be God. Everybody want to be worshipped. I don't care. You got to worship nothing to me. You bother me, be around me too much. Capricorn, just talking about it. Y'all be too funny. Just saying they want to be worshipped. What is Capricorn represent? Okay. What I'm seeing. Okay. Yeah. Being the one to give you stuff. I thought Capricorn was gonna come up. New world order. Look at this. So a lot of people who thinking because they, you know, I don't mean no harm, gay or whatever like that. That don't mean that they care about you any more than anybody else. That means that they feel like they have more control over you than anybody else. Oh, Capricorn, all over the board. Look at this. Injustice. And then Sag, feeling like it's justified what they doing. Number one, Saturn. Will and dexterity. That man should, like God, act without ceasing. Boom. Start right there. New God, like I already said. Then we got number 8. Number 3 first. J, feel like it's justified. Equilibrium. Yep. Vices unveiled. Number 3. Marriage action. That to affirm what is true and will what is just is already to create it. To affirm and will contrary is to bow oneself to destruction. Hope for success in thy enterprise, provided thou knowest how to unite the activity which make fruit, morally correct behavior or thinking righteously. Boom. And number 7 is building, fight, war, whatever they got to do to build this new foundation, whatever it may be, to control whatever they want. So they want to go like Star Trek and run all kind of go amok. That's why they don't. The ones who in charge who told them to tell the humans so we all can enjoy this, they want to still be selfish and not tell us so they can run down here. They can run whoever on the moon. They can run whoever on whatever planets. If that's what they're doing in the sea, they can run everything their way. So if they reincarnate or don't die, whatever, they can still be in power, and their children can be in power. And same old game, just different day and made differently. Sad, 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 sad. Being exposed. Hello. What are you? We're going to do with the truth. What are You going to do with the truth being exposed? Hello, right on top. What are we going to do with the truth being exposed? Can we do anything? Ego. What is this? Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Ego. Do you believe everyone's smart in their own way? Only you. Are you a true gangster? Ask Snoop Dogg. They like, can you do anything about it? Think you can change what we do? Question on the table. Did someone steal your ideas? Can you think of another one? Attack my masculine side to hurt my feminine side. Too much control. Boom. Are you budgeting your money resources? Do you eat, smoke, bath, drink herbs for cleansing? Maybe you need to get some downloads. Stay over there with that negativity. Hey, if the beings, maybe they want to help us regular folks. What y'all think? It says decode everything for understanding. No more games. Jackpot. Everything out in the open. Shockwave. Moving faster than sound. What else we got? Learning lessons with you. Book closed. Rewrite a new story or a book. I'm go over here. Are you growing? Are you weak, acting strong? Maybe they work with us regular folks. Who knows? That we asked. All right, y'all. That's what I got for you. Just really interesting what I seen today. Okay. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. I really appreciate it. Who knows it coming to play one day? Let me see some. To finish my stop. All right. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.